See, anytime you got redemption, somebody got to pay. Somebody got to pay.
That's right.
So the Egyptians had to pay to get them out of there because they was tired of that judgment. And that's what happened. And they walked on out. And so we'll take a quick little break there. If anybody got any questions, I'll entertain any questions that y'all may have. Go ahead, brother.
The question you were saying about the headship, and you were saying God is the head and you got everybody else under.
Christ is the head of the church right now. Yep,
But you see, you got all the different offices under that.
Right.
But what came across my mind was, when you look at the world, like you talking about the world, like the president of the United States.
Right.
You got it.
Yep.
But then I was saying, you were saying they don't respect the president.
Yep.
But then I was thinking, you saying coming from the head, going from top, going to the bottom, then from the top don't even respect the bottom. So it's like it go both ways.
Yep, It could, but here's the thing. You have a great high priest. All right? And your high priest knows everything that you went through. So I can see that with our current political situation right now, yeah, you have that issue. All right? But with Christ, he absolutely respects you. He bought you. Yeah. He bought you. So that's not an issue here. You see what I'm saying? Okay. But here's the thing. He's still the highest authority. It don't matter who the president is or who the world leaders are. He's still the highest authority. So you have that peace. So absolutely, he absolutely respects you. He calls you precious. How can I call you anything else?
All right.
But how do we respect the president? You know, we say he our president, but like nobody really respect him, and it's like everybody like bickering back at each other, like what kind of mess we got going on here? But everybody talking about we are the Lord and we saved and this and that. Even church folk don't even respect it. So how's that gonna relate even to God? We saying yeah, God is the authority, but even ourselves, we saying we don't want him. Give me Barabbas or whatever we say. Right. So what are we talking about?
I would just say this right here, that as it relates to government in the Bible, we know that it's the Lord who has established all of it. All right, that's the first thing. But here's what our responsibility is to government. One, you got to pray for them. All right. Two, you have to pay your taxes. All right. Three, you have to obey the laws of the land. You leave it at that. All right. As far as me going out and bashing them, I mean, and here's the thing, I see all that stuff. I know it's not right, but that's sort of kind of way you have to go and leave it. Because other than that, you run into making stuff based up around politics. Because here's the thing, it don't matter what he do. God still got a plan. All right. He's still in control, and so it don't matter what he do. You got to see it from the standpoint of whatever he's doing is part of God's plan. Remember, the devil is God's devil. That's right. He only gonna let you go as far as he want you to go, and that's just it. Just like with Job, you can go this far, and that's it. And so that's how you do. So now, all right, good question by the way, and we can talk about that. I sort of like. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, and I'll get you next. All right.
What we have to look at is God is not doing it to us; He's doing it for us. This is a lesson, like you said, and we have to look and see the right and the wrong. But we know we are Christians, and like you said, the Bible says, "Grace and it leads us."
That's right.
So,
go ahead.
Question: you were talking about bringing disciples and us saying no, whether we meant to or not. And the first part of this was focused around don't focus on everybody else, focus on you.
Right.
If you know you can't, if you haven't gotten yourself right, is that still being like, no, God, I can't do this, or I'm just not capable yet of doing this?
Put it like this right here. You're not responsible for getting yourself right. You see what I'm saying? Your responsibility is to, once you see the wonderful sacrifice that's been made in your behalf, that makes you right. All right, it's not what you're doing that makes you right. That makes you right. Remember, it's a kingdom. All right, sin is a kingdom. Don't see sin as, oh, I'm doing this, I can't stop doing that. Don't see it like that. All right, see it as a kingdom. You were in Satan's kingdom. That's what made you wrong. So you could have been in Satan's kingdom, and you could have just been sleeping. You sleeping for Satan. You could have just been eating. You're eating for Satan. You could have had the best job in the world, eminent physician or in some sort of high position, some sort of athlete or whatever, making millions of dollars. If you're in Satan's kingdom, that's for that king. You're serving that king. And what Christ does, he comes and pulls you out of that kingdom, and he stands you in this one. Now, when you stand in this kingdom, guess what? If you was a drug addict over here, when you get here, you probably still be a drug addict. You might, but eventually it's going to convict you so bad that you don't want to stop. Because you understand the sacrifice that was made. Somebody had to die to get you here. And that's the issue. So don't see it as an issue of you got to get yourself right. He makes you right. By the sacrifice. And see, that takes the pressure off of you. See, ain't no pressure on. He's done all the work. And so now that you're here, what I need you to do is to look back and see where you came from. What I need to do is look back and see how you got here. Look at the cross and see who had to die for that. And if that's how you want to treat it, by not being right, in our world, not being right is, doing something crazy all the time and this, that, and the other. That's how we see stuff. So if you want to treat it like that, that's fine. But if I saved your life and you want to dog me out, if let's just say I'm paying your rent every month, and every time you see me, you want to slap me in my face. What's up with that? I mean, that's how you want to treat me. That's on you now. So it's not incumbent upon you to make yourself right, but to look at the cross, to see what died and how you want to treat them. That's the issue. That's the issue. And that's why it's intensely personal. It's very, very personal thing. It's not about, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to make myself right. You try to do way too much. You look at the cross and say, would this please the one? Would this please the one that saved me? That's what you need to. That's what you need to look at. And I promise you, that'll get you right. That'll get you right. And then you ain't got to worry about all that other stuff. You see? So now,
praise the Lord.
Yeah, like you saying, a lot of people believe every time you do something wrong, you ain't saved. You gotta keep going back. Oh, you yell to like, oh, you ain't saved. Go back and get saved. They just believe
right.
Every time you do something, but you looking like that for, oh, you ain't saved.
Right, and that's why I say it's got to be personal. That's why you got to look at it yourself. So, and you're right.
I'll never be saved.
Right, because if I'm yelling like that, if I'm doing all this stuff and cursing people out, and this, that, and the other, well, guess what? I got to start looking at myself now.
Mm-hmm.
I already know how you gonna see it. Mm-hmm. That's easy, right?
Yeah.
That's easy to see. I know how that's gonna play out. If I'm up here, I'm cursing, doing all kind of stuff, I know what you're going to say.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be a pastor.
Yeah.
I know what you're going to say.
Yes, sir.
But I got to look at this thing myself. It's not about what you say. It's about what I can see. That's how it goes. So now, we move from who we are to what we did. What did we do? Right? What did we do? What did we do? And for that, I'm going to take y'all to Genesis chapter 3. Verse 6. And now keep in mind, as I go through this, y'all, I'm going to tell you what it's going to seem like. Depending on who you are. If you're a man, you're going to seem like I'm too heavy on you. If you're the woman, it's going to seem like I'm too heavy on you. But remember, this is equal culpability. Equal blame. All right? In my fallenness, I'm not the perfect teacher. I may weigh it one side, or it might seem like that, but that's really not the intent. The intent is just to show the equity in the fallenness of both men and women. All right, so it's not just one. All right.
Amen.
So in Genesis chapter 3, verse 6, when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was a delight to the eyes, and that the tree was desirable to make one wise, she took from its fruit and ate, and she gave also to her husband with her, and he ate. Herein lies the fall of mankind. Right? That's the fall, y'all. That's what happened.
Yes, sir.
That passage, Genesis 3, 1 through 6, really, it's disobedience to the word of God and what that produces. Remember, they knew that God had said, don't eat from that tree, right? This is disobedience, simple disobedience to the word of God. That's all this is, all right? And it was eating. Something so simple and mundane as eating. We eat every day. Y'all, this crashed the world into darkness. And so after the fall, things got very difficult for the man and for the woman, right? Very, very difficult for them. So look at verse 16. And we're going to start with the woman. To the woman he said, I will greatly multiply your pain in childbirth. In pain you will bring forth children. Yet your desire will be for your husband, and he will rule over you. Now, if I read that in the literal Hebrew, it would say this: causing to be great, I shall cause to be great your sorrow. You see the emphasis there? Causing to be great, I shall cause to be great your sorrow. And so the repetition gives the idea of intensification. All right? So there's an intense sorrow here. Now, the fact that God did this, it shouldn't be a problem. Right? I mean, why? Because we disobeyed God. That's what happened. And it's consistent with God to cause trouble for those that commit sin, right? Mm-hmm. This is consistent with how he operates. This is just normal. That's all over the Bible. I don't have to even go anywhere to prove that. And so not only does God multiply the pain, but he multiplies the pregnancies and the conceptions. Now we know that women over the years have been beaten, abused, and stepped on by men. All right, we get that, right? We know the history of the woman. At one point in time, they couldn't vote. I mean, the whole 9 yards, right? The woman may as well have been black. You know? Or slave, I mean, well, she was, you know what I'm saying? She was that, absolutely she was that. So I'm just saying, so like, this is, you know, you look at some of these documentaries and you see the woman, they don't even have enough to eat. She pregnant, got a baby she can't even feed. A lot of infant mortality. Y'all, this is the plight of the woman over the years. It's been one of a second-class citizen. And we get that, and we know that, right? And so that's not to diminish that. And so out of that, you see your feminist movements rising and all this other kind of stuff. Why? Because of the suffrage of women. All right? And so that was a known deal. As a matter of fact, in the Jewish culture, if you burnt my breakfast, I could divorce you. No question. You know, if I didn't like what you was doing, you just woke up on the wrong side of the bed that morning. I could just get you up out of here. And that's how we sort of treat marriage now. You know, oh, forget this, I'm out this piece. I'm a witness to that. That's right. That's just how it goes. Yes. Yeah. And so he not only multiplied the pain, he multiplied the conception. So God is going to give the woman multiplied pain with multiplied conceptions. You understand that a woman could conceive literally every month, right? I'm not going to be going up into all of the, all that stuff right up, but y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Y'all get that. We grown. So a woman could conceive a baby literally every month and be pregnant every year. You understand that? Ask me how I know. The word pain means hard to bear. So God says it's going to be, I'm going to put on you everything that's hard to bear about having children. All right, we're not going to really talk a whole lot about the children today, but understand this, and I'm going to say this a number of times. The children are supposed to bring a woman great joy initially, right? But one of the things that's supposed to bring her the most joy brings her the most sorrow. You see, y'all starting to see the effect, right? I hear mom like, And so, and this suffering doesn't just include the bearing of children. Here's why. Because if it really hurt that bad, you wouldn't have another one. I mean, think about that. But think about that for a second. I'm not minimizing the pain. I'm in medicine. I'm in the field. And I watched my wife have 4 babies. So I understand the pain that comes with childbirth. So I'm not minimizing it. But you got to think, if something hurt that bad, you're not going to want it again, right? I'm just saying, you ever got shot in the knee? I mean, look, you ain't gonna want to get shot in the other knee, right? Right, you don't want to get shot in one period. You think of a bad injury, you know, like I blew my knee out playing basketball, you know, so I don't want to tell the other one. No, I'm quitting. I'm done. And that's what happens. So, but there's a certain joy to the whole motherhood thing, right? To the carrying the child and the having the child, and really, if you ever want to know, this one is for free. If you ever want to know why women have depression after they have those babies sometimes, it's because you got to think for 9 months that baby's been as safe as it's gonna be. No question. 9 months, y'all. You can feel it moving in your womb and on the inside, and that's the safest it's gonna be. All right. Then all of a sudden he comes out, boom, that's just it. Now you gotta be worried about everything. As long as mama carrying that baby, you ain't got nothing to worry about, and it's cool. But now the baby's out in the real world, and mama knows the dangers of the real world. And she has the baby right there, and it's like, oh my Lord, he can catch an airborne fungus. Then on top of that, if you want to add to the pain of childbearing, the child's gonna get older, and he gonna do stuff like sticks, forks, and electrical outlets, and running across streets, and talking to strangers. You see all this stuff, y'all. This is the pain of childbirth. See, a mama have a relationship with the child that no man is gonna understand.
Yeah.
All right. That just happens like that, and that's just how it goes. And so but there's pain in that, y'all. When a child decides to make a bad decision, there's pain in that. So you have multiplied pain to go along with your multiplied conceptions. That's what happens, y'all. That's some suffering right there. But we're not going to be talking about the kids today. So the woman is punished in a very intimate way, a very close way. She's punished. All right. Now that's your main distinguishing characteristic, right? That you can have a baby. Now, not all women have babies, and I'm with that. You have the medical problems and stuff like that. And in the Old Testament, you have where God will close the womb for a time, and then He decides, okay, you know what, today I'm gonna open your womb, and that's just how it goes. And so, but that's your distinguishing characteristic, and it brings great joy and great satisfaction to your life, right? I mean, so we're not saying having kids is all bad, because it's not. The Bible says, "Blessed is the man whose quiver is full," right? I mean, so yeah, we're not putting it down. I just wanted y'all to see the curse on yourselves.
There you go.
So you have this child, and you go down to death's door to have that child, because you do realize you can die every time you have a baby, right?
That's right.
That's like real. Like if you ever look at that stuff, you could like die from that kind of stuff. And so it's painful for you at all levels, and it's going to be painful raising a child. Okay. Now, that's one of the consequences of the curse, is the child. But that's not the one I'm focusing on today. The one I'm focusing on is, look at verse 16 again. Yet your desire will be for your husband, and he will rule over you.
God Almighty.
Here we come to the main point. All right? I have a question for you. Do you know that you're black? Did you realize that? Have you known that for a long time? Or was it something that just happened to you? I mean, I'm just asking. Because for you it might have happened like that. I don't know. I'm just asking. You gotta see, that's crazy, right? He's like, what in the world? She probably been black since she was born. She probably came out that color. Man, she's really real light, but that's all right. But we know how it is. You've been black since you was born, right?
Yes.
Whether it's a white person or Japanese person or Chinese person, don't matter. You're like that on day one, right? So what you're telling me, then, it's inherent. There's nothing that I can do to change that, right? Just like the leopard can't change his spots. Guess what? Bleach ain't touching that, all right?
Amen.
Ain't touching it. Your skin will come off first. So now look what it says in verse 16. Your desire will be for your husband.
This is a root issue.
There's the root. The issue is control. That's it. Control. Now somebody gonna say, well, that ain't me. I ain't trying to be in control. We like to say that, right? It sound good? Yes, you are. It's inherent. The Lord said, remember I asked y'all at the very beginning, when God put these punishments down, was it for Eve? Or was it for every woman that came behind Eve? Y'all boldly proclaimed every woman behind. See, y'all saying this stuff. I'm not saying none of this stuff. You already know it. Your issue is that you desire to be in control. It's inherent. It's inherent. You could read the verse like this. You shall seek control over your husbands. Or you can read it like this. You will desire to exert your will. You will desire to exert your will. Imagine that. Now, that's a problem. That's a huge problem. Because the desire can manifest itself in a lot of different ways. It could be the desire that is angry and smolders, under the trash heap. It could be a shouting control. So it's either way, right? It could go either way. So here's how that works. And this is in men too. And so I don't want to, but we're just talking about the women right now. Here's how it works. You create a problem. Okay, there's a problem. We see a problem, all right? And what happens is, I become the only one with the solution for that problem. So if I had one bottle of water up here, and I just cut it off from everywhere else, no more water in this place. The problem is, I'm thirsty, especially after eating these donuts, right? Y'all know how it is when we eat donuts, we like water or milk or coffee, all right? And all they got is this bottle of water. No different than eating a bag of salt and vinegar potato chips. I want some water with that. Or a red Faygo. Or pineapple big shot. But anyway, I digress. But there's a problem. Because y'all, I done served y'all potato chips. And you're thirsty, right? And you got this one bottle right here. That's the problem. You know who's in control now? Me. You know why? Because I got the solution to the problem. That's what happens. And see, the world, we don't like solutions. We like to keep up problems. All right, there's no difference in medicine. I rather treat you than cure you. For a treatment, so like say for example, for high blood pressure, cholesterol, whatever. For the treatment of those things on a regular basis, probably cost you no more than $10 a month, right? For treatment. Just to treat it, to keep it down. So you know how we do. I take my pills so I can eat me some fried chicken. You know how that. You know how y'all do.
Yeah.
So just empty. Right. I was with Pastor yesterday. He got me eating wings and stuff. Right after I took my medicine. So for the treatment, it might cost about less than $10 a month. Yeah. But like say for example, if you contracted something like hepatitis C, all right. Hepatitis C is it's a viral disease. It comes from like needles and it's bloodborne, sort of like HIV. Used to be with hepatitis C like HIV is now. With hepatitis C, your prognosis was not that good. You were going to die if you had hepatitis C. Well, now there's a treatment for it. You understand? There's a cure for it. There's a cure for hepatitis C. It's a bottle. It's 28 pills in a bottle, and it costs $25,000.
Praise God.
Wow.
You got to take it for 3 months, 12 weeks. So it will cost you to cure it $75,000. So if you ever find yourself with hepatitis C, here's my suggestion to you. Go to Michigan and rob a bank. Because in their prison system, they got to treat it. But I just say they gotta give you that treatment, right? But that's because the world doesn't like cures. So like if you got a husband and a wife and they say, okay, well just forgive them. Well, no, that's a cure. That cures the problem. Or if you got a husband and a wife and you got one, they both Christians, right? They both Christians. And the Bible says that the Lord is going to perfect them in the end, right? He's working out the salvation. Remember, who gave you the salvation? Jesus did, right? He did that for you, right? So if that be the case, if you're a Christian, then your spouse ought to look at you and say, you know what? God is working that out.
Yeah.
You see that? That's the cure. But we don't like that. We like the problems. We want to keep dealing with the symptoms over and over and over again. No. I gave you the cure. So really, in this whole series, I can really just go to Philippians and say, God is working out your salvation, and He's going to perfect you in the end, right? And that means when He's doing that, He got to take you through some stuff, right? Up, down, up, down, up, down. That's going to happen, right? It's never easy. You ever get a chance, read the Psalms of Ascent. And it's the Psalms of, like 120 to 134, I think. And it's a group of songs that's in the Bible. And it's talking about going from from Jericho up to Jerusalem, wherever you're coming from, because they would have to go and worship God, and they have to go up the hills, and they would have to sing these songs. They would sing these songs that they was going up the hills to get to the top. You know, Jerusalem was up on the top of a mountain, and they were singing these songs, and it just tells you about how he did this and how he did that, and how you had to go through the hills and the dangers and the mountains and the wolves and the weather, and you might fall, and he's not going to let you slip while you're on the mountain going up, trying to climb this treacherous. I'm telling you, some wonderful, wonderful stuff. But that really should solve the problem. I really should be able to say, hey, the Lord has taken me through. And you need to understand that. All right? On both sides. But anyway, so you got this woman, and she's mad. Why? Because she can't get what she wants. All right? Because she wants control. That's inherent in the woman. The woman wants control. Every woman wants control. You know what that does? Whether you're gay, straight, married, single, 14, 15, y'all know those ages, right? You want what you want. Why? Because inherent in the woman is this desire to control her husband. That's it. Right, so now, that's what the word rule means. It means to dominate, to reign, or to install in the office. That's what it means. You want that office, okay? But guess what happens? As the woman seeks to control her husband, he dominates her, or he gets on top of her, you see? He has to, in other words, crush the rebellion. And when I get to the guys, I'm going to show y'all how it all work out, and you're going to understand then at that point the whole base conflict of marriage. And you'll be able to pretty much help anybody with that. And so what happens ultimately is the woman tends toward rebellion, right? Because she's not in control. She's trying to get control. And so that means the man sort of pushes himself toward dictatorship. All right? And you got that whole piece. Look at Genesis chapter 4. Look at verse 7. The Bible says this: if you do well, will not your countenance be lifted up? And if you do not do well, sin is crouching at your door, and its desire is for you, but you must master it. Remember, that's Cain and Abel, right? Y'all know the story of Cain and Abel. Cain killed his brother, Abel, and he left. All right, and God confronted him on it and said, here's what's up, Cain. This is what's going to happen. And so, if you look at this verse, it sounds the same as the verse that we're in right now. It says, your desire will be for your husband, and he will rule over you. And in verse 7 it says, his desire is for you, but you must master it. So sin, its desire. Sin's desire is for you, right? Sin wants to master you. Remember what we said sin was? Sin is a kingdom. Sin wants to master you. Who's the master? Satan, right? So you're in this kingdom. You're in the kingdom of sin. It wants to master you. It wants to stay. It wants you to stay there. That's what he's saying. So he says its desire is for you. And so the woman has the same desire for the man that sin has for Cain. Y'all see that? That's powerful. Yeah. The woman has the same desire for the man as sin has for Cain. Yo, that's a hard thing to break. Now you see why we buying flowers and all the other kind of stuff all the time, because we trying to appease that thing, right? See, now y'all know, all right? So and then if you look at the verse 2, it says this, and he will rule over you, all right? That means the husband has the need to control his wife like Cain had the need to control his sin. You see that? So I got to control her like I control sin. Shoot, Samuel hacked Agag to pieces. I'm just saying. That was him controlling the sin, right? That's how he controls sin.
Yeah, took him out.
So you're never gonna have like total women liberation, because you're gonna always have this back and forth right there. Okay, you're gonna always have that. And so that's the issue that the woman has to deal with. And don't worry, we're gonna help you with how to deal with that, because here's the thing: if you got something that's on you, all right, a spot or whatever, and you never deal with it and you just let it keep going, it'll just spread and spread and spread and get worse and worse and worse, right? So think about how long you've been walking around with this weight. Think about how long you've been walking around with this burden, and you don't even know what it is. But that's what it is. It's inherent in you. It's inherent. This issue of control. It's amazing, because I think the woman's is more manifest outside, and man sort of kind of more manifest inside, just a little bit. So now, so you got the woman, right? And her desire is to control the man. I don't care if you say you're not, that's exactly what you're doing. It's inherent, all right? It's like the color of your skin. Well, pick a color, it don't matter. It's inherent. You can't get around it. Here's why. Because God said that this is what you're going to do.
That's what it is.
He said that. He said that. He said, you're going to do this. And guess what? Do you believe the Bible?
Yes,
All right,
sir.
then that's for you, okay? So now, here's the man. All right? And like Eve, Adam's curse comes in the realm in which he lives. All right? For the woman is what? The children and the husband. And so he cursed that realm, right? That's her realm. See, it's not chauvinistic to say a woman's place is in the home. Now, I know we sound like that, but that's really not a chauvinistic statement. And I'm not saying it's wrong for y'all to work. Not saying that either. And you're going to see why in a second. Why is always not the best thing in the world? Because you got to deal with now some of the stuff that the man got to deal with. Because you're in the field now. All right, you're not at the home. And so it's just the two different realms. Men and women have different roles, all right? Women have babies. Men work out in the field. That's just how it goes. Now, I know it switches sometimes where the woman has to work out in the field, but man still can't have a baby. That ain't gonna never happen, all right, y'all?
Just carry the seed.
Right, that's not gonna happen. So watch this. So, again, this defines the roles of the biblical roles of men and women as well. So now, here you have this man, right? And this man has an issue. Look at verse 19. I'm sorry, verse 17. Then to Adam he said, because you have listened to the voice of your wife, and have eaten from the tree about which I commanded you, saying, you shall not eat from it, cursed is the ground because of you. In toil you will eat of it all the days of your life. Both thorns and thistles it shall grow for you, and you will eat the plants of the field. By the sweat of your face you will eat bread, till you return to the ground. Because from it you were taken, for you are dust, and to dust you shall return. Well, that's where you get the thing, from dust to dust, that's where you get the old funeral deal from. It comes from that verse. So now watch this. So what's the cause of the man's curse? He listened to the woman, and he ate, right? That's what happened. That's the cause. We already know that it was the woman that brought the fruit to the man to eat. We see that in 2 Timothy. I think it's 1 Timothy. In 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 14. Let me see if I can find it for y'all right quick. I don't want there to be no questions about that. Yep, 2 verse 14. Let me see. Is that it? Hold on. Oh no, I'm sorry.